So for most people, Everbloom Berserkers kind of look like what you see on screen right here. You get hit for a tick of the Berserker Bladestorm every single time it casts. If you move fast enough, you're able to get out of it before the second tick hits you. If it's combined with an Abomination or something like that, pretty occasionally and pretty regularly, you can actually go down to the Berserker hits. There are some ways of being able to deal with it, and today we're going to be talking about some of the most effective ways of being able to deal with the Berserker leaps and taking, little to no damage from those Berserkers just in general. The first way is honestly being far away from the Berserkers and pre-moving them. And what I mean by that is, if you're standing over 25 yards away from the Berserkers and you see that they have like the cast queued up, say you have like the nameplate cooldown Wikora, and you see that they have the cast queued up, you know that you can like pre-move before the Berserker leaps at you, and that will allow you to not take any damage from that initial hit of that whirlwind, because that whirlwind does tick you immediately the moment it hits you. But like, say you're pre-moving it, that works. Another way of doing it is utilizing things such as, CCs while the Berserkers are midair to immediately cancel their whirlwind cast to where you're not going to be taking a damage from that. Those two ways are pretty effective methods of being able to deal with it. However, there is actually a third effective method of being able to deal with it. And there are at least two spots that I know of right now. There are probably more inside of Everbloom, but there are at least two spots that I know of where if you stand in the spots, either one of two things will happen. The Berserkers will either not leap onto you, or alternatively, the Berserkers will leap beneath where you're standing, and then we'll just Bladestorm beneath where you are. And so here's the first one right here. It's towards the very beginning of Everbloom. This allows you to grab basically all of the trash that is in that first section. So you can grab most of the Berserkers that are around this right side. And if you stand on top of this plant, then you are able to just completely avoid taking damage from them. The downside is that it's actually pretty hard to get to, especially for most classes. However, if you're playing with an Evoker, the Evoker can double jump glide onto it and then rescue another player, or rescue even potentially like a two-seater mount into the spot. And alternatively, like druids can hop up here as well, like you see on screen. I'm sure you can do it with like goblin jump and stuff like that. The other way is this spot that you can see right here, not this one, but this spot that you see right here. Okay, I had to take it a couple of attempts because I didn't fully understand how to get into the spot. Very similar to the last spot with the Evoker thing, you have to like double jump glide into the spot. I'm just wild charging for proof of concept. You can do it on a druid as well. But if you stand in this spot as well, the Berserkers will either again queue up their whirlwind forever, or they'll whirlwind beneath you. And so like you want to be like pretty high on top of this to where you're not going to be getting clipped by the whirlwind. But basically, once you're into this spot, you are safe, just as long as you know where the spots are and where you should be looking to go. It does require the tank to actually kind of pull around you a little bit as well. So you're going to want to be pulling the Berserkers back to these spots that were being shown on screen. Alternatively, again, though, you can CC them while they're midair. You can utilize things like Ursul's Vortex or whatever. And on top of that, you can also like just pre-move them, depending on what's going on in your group, depending on where your tank is tanking the mobs, and depending on how many Berserkers you have. Hope this helps, and I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.